Yo, you know what it is. It's your boy. This is the Main Character Podcast, episode 12. Ronin Guy Kaii, right? That's the title. Fly Guy Kaii, the main character, the captain. And as of course, today's episode is inspired by Ronin Warriors, as you could hear it. Before I give you the summary, health check, physical, we cool. I'm sore. I did chest the other day. Back on my I usually do 80% of 80% of the heavy weight that I move just to see not just to see, but just to get like a good workout without having to worry about too much strain on certain joints. But I move back to 100% of the weights that I do. I do like 3 sets of 8. And the way I do it is I use the heavy, let's say I'm doing like chest press. And I'm doing, 200. When I reach up to 8, it's like, okay, let me add 5 more pounds. If I was to do 200 and I could only get to 7, I don't have to increase or decrease. But if I was doing 200 and I got down to 6, then I would decrease it by 5. Because my main thing is to be at 8. Is try to be at 8 at all. Well, not try. Try to be at 7 for most of the sets. Like try to be at 7, or at least try to be at 8, then 7 for the last 2. I do it sort of like that, so that way I can know how much I actually can do with like lifting. For the most part, it's been helping. You know what I mean? It's been helping for the most part. I don't like to take too much stuff like protein or whatever. I gotta research a little more for other brands, but I don't like to really get into protein and stuff like that. Cause certain brands, like, it looks more like they give you like the SpongeBob effect. Like they inflate the body, make it look like you got some muscle, but at the end of the day, you stop taking the protein, you're cooked. Me, like, I don't know, just naturally doing it. Not to say protein powder isn't natural, but I'm just eating chicken, turkey, sometimes some type of red meats. Pause. Rice, of course, is like kind of the go-to thing, and then I'll just eat like a big bag of broccoli or spinach. I really love spinach. Like broccoli with some cheese, you got me. And that is cookies. Because I earned it, damn it. Tomorrow, leg day. Normally, I hate leg day. But the way I've been moving weight lately, I need a break from this upper, okay? So leg day, you got me. Alright? That's... If you hear that noise in the background, usually, that's my Xbox. That's either it's gonna cut off or somebody is sending me an invitation. Let me just tell them I'm doing a podcast episode. I hate autocorrect. Here we go. All right. The physical. So physical's cool. Spiritual's good. Me and my relationship with the big guy, or what? Just like to say God. Me and my relationship with God. Me and my relationship with Yahshua. We good. Mental health. It's cool. I mean, it's cool. It was a little bit happier, but then some happened this week, so it's kind of back down and like a little. I'd say a little less than cool. It's like okay. Um, one of the content creators that I watched on YouTube a lot. I was one of the first few that I actually started to subscribe to when I was really, really watching YouTube, like heavy in it. Besides just like anime episodes, it was a comic historian, and his name's Ben Potter. Call him Benny. He passed away, so that kind of affected me in a way that Akira Toriyama's death affected me. He shed a couple of tears because you may not know the person personally, but you know their work. And their work was so impactful that it affected you enough. It may have changed a part of your life. With Dragon Ball Z, there was like a few animes here and there, but Dragon Ball Z was the one that cemented it. Like, I'm a fan of anime. Even when it wasn't cool back in the 90s to be a fan of anime out loud, I still drew Dragon Ball Z on every bit of blank paper that I could find back when I used to like to draw. I used to always draw the hair. I used to always draw the eyes. Even sometimes now, I don't draw as near as much as I used to, but every now and again when I like to draw some anime eyes, it's easy to draw Dragon Ball Z eyes. It's nothing but like S's and trapezoids and half circles. The transformations, just the feeling, the games. Kirito that it affected me like that because then it influenced some of the other anime artists' work that I've come to love, that I've watched. And it was just, this man, never met him. In fact, I didn't even know who he looked like until a couple years ago. Never really heard him speak. I just knew the work, and the work was amazing. Same thing with Benny. With the page Comic Historian, and he was doing like a couple of other pages because he had like this ADHD thing, and he had to do like multiple things. So if it was one page, he had it structured too, where he would have one page where it just talked about he would just read the comics. He would do it in his voices. Whenever he did different types of voices, they were always cool. It's not like, oh my god, like he's sounding so different in each one, but honestly, I would have wanted him to do like voice acting for any one of like the DC or the Marvel projects. It doesn't have to be like it could be like one of the side characters, or it could be essentially like an evil villain or something, because the way he did Batman, it was just like a jokey voice thing, but the way he did Joker was the one that sticks out to me because he always did the laugh. And he was a cool dude. Seemed smart. He was a fellow veteran. He was an Army veteran, if I'm not mistaken. But he was definitely like, he had Sal on. Then he started putting Dan in front of the camera a little more, and he was having his brother show up, and he had Hassan. And he was cool with Rob from Comics Explained, and it's always cool to see their pages because they were two sides of the same coin. Like, they were cool and they were very detailed in their knowledge about comics. But if you pay attention, like Rob and Ben's like pages and like what they kind of lean more towards, to me it was always that they both explained like both things. Like, they kind of kept up with like X-Men they kept up with X-Men and they kept up with DC, but even when you look at how their pages are, you can tell like Rob seems like he leans a little more towards DC, and Benny like leans a little more towards Marvel. But these are dynamic duos, all right? Like Batman and Superman, okay? But him making like manga story and he's got a panel where it talks about like maybe a movie came out or just some interviews with some comic book creators or just shows that came out that interest them that they want to talk about. And I'm gonna miss that because Superman's still going on. The Superman movies that are coming out, the new DCU that's coming out. It My bad. It's still like it's one of those things that still kind of like hurt. Like you get that feeling like why. And they said it was an accident, and I don't care about any further details like that. The family don't want to disclose it. That's fine with me. It's enough, and it's sad enough to know that Ben passed. But sometimes, living life, not even sometimes, a lot of times you go through life, you hear like deaths, and especially when certain deaths happen, like a horrible accident happens, like with Kobe. Maybe the person wasn't that old, like with Bernie Mac, or with Chad Boseman. Even with Kiri Toriyama, he was only 68. Some people would be like, well, damn, that was old enough. But nah, like, I consider it like once you get like past 80, it's like, okay, when you go at that time, like, it's a sad thing to see you go, but you definitely lived, in our terms, a long life. Or things like this, where, like, again, accidents happen, and it's like good, hardworking people. And I never want to wish death on like them. I'm like, why him and not this person, or why them and not like, yo, take this person instead and give us back this one. Like, no, not that, no. Because if one person had that power, then everybody would have that power, and it would just be chaos. So life is weird like that. And the thing is, it sucks because we feel this selfish thing, right? No matter what death happens, the selfish thing. Why'd you have to leave? Come back for me. And it's just this law in the world where death is not reversible. As many like comic books as he covered, and as many comic books as I have read, or animes I've seen, where they've got the magic to resurrect, or they have these, you have the white hot room for the Phoenix, or you have like reality manipulation, like so many things like in comics where people come back from the dead. And even in comics, that's one of the things that's like it's like your favorite comic book character could die off, but they're not going to stay dead forever. So the death really doesn't, it hits but doesn't hit that hard, because that they're going to find some way to bring them back. But in real life, there's no reset button. There's no magic item. There's no genie lamp. It's just real life. And looking at his videos and a couple other people's made me want to do stuff like finally do stuff like this. Like try. I don't care if I'm still in single digits where people really don't see this yet. I'll get there eventually. I'll keep pushing on. Doing stuff on TikTok, doing video game plays on here, trying to do it on Twitch. And as far as the creative aspect, my creative writing, working on that, just because of like how him and Rob and a couple of other people, like in their lane, they're like, yo, there's a lane for this. I'm I'm gonna lean into it because I love this lane, and I'm gonna pump out content, and I'm gonna find people, and find people we did. And when you scroll through, like, I've scrolled through TikTok, I've scrolled through Twitter, and it's a lot of people that have felt the same. Just like, yo, like, what? Like, nah, I watched this dude. It's some people that you see that it hits me a little bit more because I'm older. Like, you see some of the younger people than me. It's like, yo, I used to watch his content since I was, somebody said, like, since I was 9. And this dude was, what was he? Oh, man. I want to say he was like maybe 20 or something like that. But some people be like, yeah, man, I used to watch his content and put it on the background while I went to sleep. And then, like, especially if you have autoplay on, you wake up and he's talking about a whole different because he had, like, after he had done a series, like, he was done with a series of comics that was like a story, a full story, he would put them all together. And sometimes the whole video would be about like 3 hours or 4 hours, excuse me, of, you know, the videos just stitched together. And you put the autoplay on and it would play another long one. And when you wake up, you go to sleep and he'd be talking about like the Hulk, or he'd be talking about Batman, and then you wake up, something about Superman. Maybe he might be going on for a little rant, a little tangent. But his personality too, you could see it. Like, you could see the personality coming off. And I, like, you don't look forward to much, but to certain, like, content you look forward to. When something comes out, something that deals with comic books, I can't wait to hear from only a handful of people, okay? And he was definitely a major part of one of them. And it's just that, as far as on my side of what I watch on YouTube, like, it's gonna be so quiet. Like, that's one. It's almost like when your favorite show gets canceled. The show you stuck with the most, it's had a couple good seasons and it's still getting good. And they're just like, well, we're not bringing it back. It's canceled. And you're used to it being like, you're used to it. You're used to being like, don't worry, I'm going to see it on this day. Like, it's always showing on this day. And when you don't, and it's done, the weeks feel empty. That space feels empty. That content that you were looking forward to so much just feels empty. So I'm, you know, I do, like, it's just sorry for the loss for the people that were close to him, especially his wife and his best friends and his family. Those that really were close to him. And it's just another reason for me to keep making content. I want other people to just do it. I don't care if you just play an instrument or you're learning an instrument and you're just showing us like your steps of going through that. Or you care deeply about a certain book, a certain writing style, certain shows. I want people to just do it. Just get into it. Just get it going. Man. That's why I said that kind of affected my mental health for the week. Because it just sucks. Like, that's, if I could sum it up, it just sucks. It just sucks. Like, we know death happens, but no. Like, it just sucks. So, again, you know what I mean? Rest in peace to Ben Potter, comic story, and the loss is definitely going to be felt. Loss is definitely going to be felt. I've seen the people that they're surprised, they're shocked, they're sad too. But hopefully, like I said, people carry on. More people come to the comic space and try and just you'll never replace him at all, but to come fill the void of all the comic book spaces. Like, hopefully, he has inspired people to come out and do stuff like that. Like, even if they only cover certain heroes, like you want to just do Superman content, do that. You want to just do Spider-Man content, do that. Just, I'll definitely miss him. It's definitely a good person. And I hope he's reached a good place in the afterlife. We don't know how it is there. No one knows for sure. We guess, we make assumptions, we base religion around what you can do in order to get into the good spot of the afterlife, but nobody knows what happens afterwards. We just make hopes. We hope that it's good. But let's not focus on the sad news. That's why I wanted to try and get that out the way. I've already said a couple of my, my little tears, my emotions yesterday and the night before. Do some good, okay? So, being at my title today was Ronin Guy Kaii, I'm going to give you the summary. Ronin Warriors, right? And this is a short summary brought to you by Wikipedia. It's just Talpa, the demon lord of the netherworld and ruler of the dynasty, is bent on conquering the mortal world. Standing against Talpa and his 4 dark warlords are the 5 Ronin warriors, each in possession of mystic armor and weapons. They are assisted by Mia Koji, a young student teacher, and a mysterious warrior monk known only as the Ancient. Now that's the summary. Some other ones have more detailed summaries, but it's your usual, almost like Power Rangers in a sense, but it's your usual big bad. Got his 4 generals. Well, they call them warlords, but same difference. His 4 generals, and he's got his evil army. He's kind of bringing his dimension into this dimension. He wants to take over, and where does he happen to start? He happens to start in Japan, I think Tokyo precisely, but starts there, takes over that city, is starting to take it over with his army. But of course, in the nick of time, who shows up? Ronin warriors, and the leader is Ryo with his big ass tiger white blaze. And you got Kento Sai. I be forgetting the other names. I'm horrible with names, and I shouldn't be. But it's just how my mind works. Kento Sage, Sai. That's how they spelled Sai. She's Kento Sage, Sai, Rowan, and of course Ryo. And then you've got Mia and Yuli. Yuli was the little boy that was on in that first episode. He was with his parents trying to get a skateboard or something. He wound up, skateboarding or whatever, ran into White Blaze, and a big ass tiger in the middle of society just roaming around is gonna alert everybody. And Ryo's just walking with him comfortable, yo, what's up? I'm what do you mean what's up? You're walking around with something that should be in the wilderness or in the zoo behind the bars. Of course, he happens to show up at the same day when Talpa shows up and starts his takeover, taking all the people that's there, and Yuli's parents are taken, and Mia and her grandfather were working on research on the working on research on the Ronin warriors, and it just so happened everything was a coincidence. I mean, for the anime, it wasn't really a coincidence, but it just so happened to work like that. The five came together. They have the power to beat Talpa, but they just had to find it again. And I said, it's like your Power Ranger thing. It's like your bad guy of the week type thing. It's gonna be the same type of bad guys, but it's just bad guy of the week. As they get stronger, the bad guys aren't as strong to them. I always hold that one because that's one that people forget that was actually. I went back and watched it. I did 5 on anime. I watched the first 5 episodes and I was like, you know what? I dig it. I wish it got a remake because then it would be fire. Because it is dated, to tell you the truth, because it came out in 1988. Of course, over here it got to us around 1995. But you could tell by the drawing style, you could tell by the characters, it had that 80s look to it. So essentially, that anime is like 36 years old, which is nuts. It's nuts to think about time like that. Time is crazy. But yeah, that anime is like 36 years old. So it's definitely dated. You could definitely tell some of the reuses of some of the shots. Still cool to me. Like I said, one of the ones I could gatekeep. But nobody was really interested in anime like that, or people were interested, but they didn't want to say it out loud because they didn't want to seem like uncool, or for some reason, even as kids. Like I was a kid, I was like, yeah, I like this. I don't know what it's called. I didn't know the term anime until like a couple years later. Like I think once I got 12 or 13, because I was just watching this stuff. It was like, oh, okay, cool. This is Dragon Ball Z. This is that. This is Ghost in the Shell, like stuff like that. Sailor Moon. I'm like, oh, okay, this is different type of cartoons. You know, Pokemon. You wouldn't have thought of Pokemon as an anime back then because you really didn't get the info. They're just like, oh, this is Pokemon. And they spoke English. Their words may have not matched, but it still was like, oh, it's a cartoon. Even Speed Racer, we didn't know the term anime. It was just, oh, there's just racing cartoon that came on Cartoon Network in Boomerang. And it definitely was like a little dated. For then it was a little, but now it's a lot. But their mouths moved really fast and they talked really fast. But you just chopped it up to just being a cartoon. Now you know it's anime. But I could see that one. It would be hard to. I like it, but it would be hard to recommend to younger people because it doesn't keep up with the animation today. Now you got stuff like Jujutsu Kaisen and Demon Slayer that just looks outstanding. Gurren Lagann, outstanding. What I wanted to say about Ronin Warriors was how could it relate? I always try to relate it in some way to life. Ronin Warriors. I mean, in most animes, it's always like just keep going for your goal, no matter how hard you get knocked back. But with Ronin Warriors, there's a specific part, right? Talpa had the bright idea. The Ronin Warriors together are super strong. So he had the power, just enough power, to take the 5 Ronin Warriors and send them off. He was like, yo, just send them off in different directions. But what happened was they got sent back to a place where their armor would rejuvenate and resonate strongly. Almost like going back to the drawing board to in that, I guess, lesson, going back to the drawing board when something seems like it's not going right, something doesn't seem right, or something doesn't seem to be working. Go back to the drawing board. See what you learned from that. Gather up, everything that you've learned from the setback. When you go back to square one, take that and become stronger. Have a better start off. Because when you're starting off from zero, you're going, you get your setback, and you fall back down. Almost like a video game, right? One of my favorite video games, and I didn't know it would be my favorite, but one of my favorite video games is Hades. Hades is one of those, I guess they said rogue platformer, but it's one of those games where you start off, you're the whole thing. You're the son of Hades, and you're trying to escape to the surface because your mother's at the surface. But you have to climb up through hell, and there's a couple of floors that you have to get through. There's enemies you have to get through. There's bosses you have to get through, and the more you go, the stronger it gets. So, at the beginning, you don't start off with too many skills. You can make it as far as, your skills can take you. And sometimes it's not your fault. It's just the bosses or the floors are more skilled, or you don't have as much health, and you get knocked back. Now you have to start all over again and go up the floor. However, the experience points you gain, you take that with you. The experience, you take that with you. You put it into different aspects that you can strengthen up, skills you can unlock, or better weapons, or strengthen your weapon. And then when you start all over again, you make it farther. So my thing with Ronin Warriors is just like that. Like, something sends you back to square one. Take that experience that you had from that failure, which is what I always do. Like, whatever failures, just take that experience back to square one, back to the drawing board, see what I can do differently, see what worked, see what didn't, then go back at it again. And the goal is to make it farther than the point at which I failed at. It's almost much like school too. Like, if you're a C student, like you're getting C's on one test, and the next test that's coming up is almost similar. When you get your test back, let's just say math test. When you get your math test back, you see exactly what equations give you the most trouble, what equations you're cool with, so that way when you go back to study, you don't have to put too much time in the ones you know. It's just work on the ones you don't know. The stuff that you get, the simple stuff that seems super simple to you, like you can read the equation and you get it right away, don't worry about that. Like, don't worry too much. Get a little bit of practicing on it so you don't lose the edge, but don't worry about it too much. You want to put your time to the stuff that gave you the most trouble. So the next time around, when that test comes around, then you may not get an A, but let's say you get a B. You take that failure, you come back. Okay, what did I miss? What wasn't I strong in? What level? What still is giving me hell? Okay, let me focus on that. Let me do a little bit of practice on the other ones, focus on that. Then eventually you can get to the A. So even though you'll face a couple of setbacks, you'll get knocked back to like square one. The experience you gain, invest that into the knowledge. Like, definitely invest that into what can make you better the next go around, so that way you make it even farther. And that's in all things. That's relationships, projects that you may have. Especially for me with writing, creative writing, I try to do a story and then I have a setback. I go right back to square one. However, I look at what I like, I look at what I don't like, get rid of what I don't like, see what works better with the stuff that I do like, and then I just so happen to get farther. And this has been an ongoing process. for years. I still be stuck in like settings and world building. I think I focus too much on world building, and that's my setback. Like, okay, I'm focusing too much on this instead of just getting a story out. Because I'll get to a point where I write something, it's like, oh, like, where does this take place? It takes place here, in this city. What's this city do? How many cities are there? I'll start getting into that, like, oh, how many cities are there? Is this a kingdom? Is this city within the kingdom limits? Is there another kingdom? Do they have wars? Are they at peace? Are they on a continent? What does the continent look like? What's the continent's name? I start going into that, and before you know it, I'm worried about that instead of just getting the story out. The beginning, the middle, and end, and then working on doing that. But I'll get there. Eventually, one of these stories I'll get out, and then it'll help me get the other 15 ideas that I have. Because I got like 16 in total. I'll get there eventually. And of course, with that being done, gaming. There was some gaming news, baby. You had PlayStation. You had Xbox Showcase. The PlayStation one was super quiet. The Xbox one, really loud. And the Xbox one looked good. The Xbox one looked good. Let me see if I could pull up some of the PlayStation. Let me see. PlayStation State of Play 2024. Let's look at everything revealed. Okay? Astrobot. I don't care. Concord looked okay, but again, it's not. I don't care. There is a PC announcement trailer for God of War, which why? That's one of those things where why is it a task, right? Because when people are designing games, they're doing it on computer, so it only makes sense that it would be easier to have it on computer than it would be on console. The mappings could be different, but all you have to do is just change the mappings of the buttons, especially with like QuickTime stuff on the screen or something, and be able to put out God of War around the same time. God of War came out like a couple years ago. God of War Ragnarok, like 1 or 2 years, and they're just getting it on PC. Like, it's already been spoiled for the masses. But if people want to just play it, cool. Until Dawn, rebuild and enhance for PS5 and PC. Come on, it's not that serious. Behemoth, like, no one's really. Path of the Exile. I tried Path of the Exile. I'm not a fan. I will tell you what, though. This Monster Hunter Wilds is a buy. It's a buy. It's getting bought. Ooh, that milk sweet. It's a buy. That look good. It look real good. Silent Hill 2. Let me tell you something. Hold on. When it comes to like horror games and stuff, I don't care. Okay. Why is my thing? You know what's crazy? I always got to do this, or like show my face, come up, because it gets blurry. Like I start to move back, it gets blurry. Move up, it doesn't want to fix itself. I spent money on this webcam. Damn it! I'm gonna get an actual camera. I got one of them bullshit cameras. I'm gonna get one of the actual cameras and then start using that. Continuing on. Horror games. I don't care. I'm not scared or nothing like that, but I've never got excitement or anything from horror games. Alien, I will watch people play that. I'll because I remember seeing how other people play the game, the earlier Alien ones. I'm like, that looks cool. It don't look cool to play, but I'll watch people play this one. This one looks legit like a horror movie as like game. Also, Marvel Rivals. You know what, Marvel Rivals? Let me see. The closed beta test is coming July 2024, but Marvel Rivals looks interesting. It's essentially Overwatch, but it's just Overwatch with Marvel characters. I don't mind that. That's alright with me. Overwatch was cool. Overwatch 1 was cool. Once they got the 2, it got silly. Let's see. Dynasty Warriors Origins. I'm a fan of Pirate Warriors 4 for One Piece. I've never played a Dynasty Warriors game, but it's pretty much the same thing. You got powerful characters, and you're pretty much beating up armies of like waves of enemies. You'll run into an occasional strong character on the map, but otherwise than that, it's just waves of armies, a strong character, waves of armies. You might meet another strong character, and it's a good old classic, like, I don't know, like beat up on waves of enemies using cool abilities. So I'll definitely cop that. Ballad of Antara really didn't, like, some of this stuff really didn't stand out to me. Like, I didn't care. And Infinity Nikki, Where Minds Meet, you know, that's how you can sum that up. Sum up PlayStation State of Play. It's alright. Do I want to play a lot of those games? No. That's right. Now, Xbox State of Play. Or Xbox Showcase. First off, they had like double the games shown that PlayStation did. So we gonna start it there. Did they do anything else? I wonder if it's up and coming titles from Activision, Bethesda, Blizzard, and Xbox Game Studios. Age of Mythology, I really I don't care about stuff like that. Again, look cool. I may chime in to see if somebody plays it, but no. Avowed, not for me. Let me tell you something. Right here, when people say, why do they keep buying Call of Duty? They keep doing dumb shit. Let it fall off. Why do people keep buying it? I'm part of the problem, okay? I can't. No other shooting game catches me like Call of Duty does. I've been playing Call of Duty since Call of Duty 2 Red 1 on PlayStation 2. You're a real OG if you played that one. Because the first Call of Duty, I didn't know about it, but Call of Duty 2 Red 1, I played that a bunch of times. And I didn't start playing online until I think Call of Duty World at War on the PS3. I think that came, yeah, because that came before Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2. Modern Warfare 2 was the boom, man. And Black Ops series was cool too. Enemies inbound, incoming. You had Ice Cube in there. They should have brought the Ice Cube character back. I don't remember if the Ice Cube character actually died or not. I'm gonna have to go back. But I be complaining about Call of Duty just like everybody else. And then what do? Right back. No other shooter. Battlefield used to be my other shooter that I could go to. And they fucked it up crazy. Battlefield 4 was their best Battlefield game. Battlefield 4 was their peak, their best one. Just keep going on from this. My second favorite one was Battlefield 1. Battlefield went right back. I think it was to World War One. You couldn't put too many attachments. You could put like one or two. And man, the Martini Henry, that was my shit. The Martini Henry sniper. That right there was my shit on Battlefield 1. But otherwise, now Battlefield just went down. Battlefield 5 and Battlefield 2024 was trash. They didn't want to put the team deathmatch in the. Your shit is a shooter, okay? You don't really want to have that much of a story in it. Not only that, oh, you want the game modes, make them yourself. I'm paying you money to make this game for me. Not saying like $70 ain't the whole thing, but I'm a paying customer. You're already getting paid to make this game. All you gotta do is make the game modes. Game modes ain't costing you too much time. It's not costing you extra. It's a multiplayer shooting game. You've always had multiplayer games like Team Deathmatch. Domination. That's the basics. Team Deathmatch, domination, capture the flag. And Call of Duty is the bomb thing. Make your own game modes? Like, nah, come on. And you keep trying to increase prices, $70 games, $80 games. Oh, we thinking about $100 games. You thinking about kissing my ass. But I'll be there day one for Call of Duty. And the thing about Xbox is their Game Pass is way better than PlayStation's. PlayStation give you some foo-foo stuff. Xbox, they give you some good stuff. And a lot of these games are coming day one on Game Pass. Because they now see, like, especially with the Fortnite model, give the game for free. We're going to come out with some cool skins. If you want these skins, you can pay for them, okay? You may be able to earn like one or two of the other skins, but if you really want these extra skins, you want these cool ones, you're going to have to pay for that, all right? And it don't give you nothing extra. Some of the game blueprints, they may come with parts faster than you would normally unlock them, but otherwise than that, it's not giving you the edge. It's just giving you cool skins. So definitely, and people be like, yo, I want that skin, I'm gonna pay for it. Oh, they got another cool skin, I'm gonna pay for it. That's what it is, baby. So catch me playing that day one, and I'm definitely streaming. All right, what else they got? We got Doom Dark Ages. I played the first Doom game, it was cool. Not for me. Not in a difficulty way, more just like a. Listen, I played the first Doom that came out, like the first ever Doom that came out on PC. And that's the only place you could play it, on PC. You use the arrow keys, like the shift or the space bar to shoot. And it was just like 8-bit hell, pretty much. I played that one. This new one was cool, but again, it doesn't draw me. I watch people play it. Fable, I'm in there. We've been waiting for a new Fable game for a very long time. Okay, count me in. E-Day Gears of War. Let me tell you something. I may not play the multiplayer for Gears of War because I suck. Because it's literally cover, shotgun, cover, shotgun, cover, shotgun, cover, shotgun, cover, shotgun. There's other guns you could use, but the cover, shotgun shit, like, there's people that are cover, shotgun you to death, and you won't even see it coming. Like, your sensitivity isn't even fast enough to catch up. You need to be on, like, Adderall and energy drinks and coffee. The story, however, I'm playing it for that. The new ones that came out, like Gears of War 4 and 5, I was just like, I was actually kind of good with up to 3. Like, that was it. It was like, okay. You got like the kids coming out and like other different type of enemy types or something, which was like a cool little add-on, but no, I was over it. But this right here, we got the boys back, but at a younger age, at E-Day. You get to see it go down. I'm in there. And of course, as always, it's going to be co-op. And that Gears of War, when Gears of War first came out and it was on 360, that I was like, dog, coming from like the next generation of games, coming from PlayStation 2 and a little bit of Xbox to seeing Xbox 360 and PlayStation 3, phenomenal. I was like, dog, look at them cut through the person, like, oh, there's body chunks. Look at the lighting. That, like, I'm gonna tell you something. PlayStation's funnest time was PS2. The games, just the between the games and memory card, the amount of Naruto games that was released on there was insane. Budokai Tenkaichi 3. I don't know why PlayStation hasn't gone back to putting it back out like on the store so we can re-download and play that again, especially with Sparking Zero coming up. But if I could, I would still be playing Budokai Tenkaichi 3 till this day. That's how fly it was. That's my favorite Dragon Ball Z game next to Xenoverse. The first Xenoverse. The second Xenoverse is cool. I played the first Xenoverse a lot more. And the third one for me is the Kakarot game. Because it's fire. Some of the DLC is like really bullshit because it short changes you. But otherwise than that, I like the presentation of some of the cutscenes. But anyway, back to Gears of War. I'm in there. Indiana Jones, I honestly don't give two fucks about. Flight Simulator, no. A lot of these simulating games too. Matrix vibes. Like we're playing jobs virtually that are actually here in the real world. Like there's flight simulator, train simulator, is boat simulator, is police simulator, firefighter simulator, power wash. There's store clerk simulator. Like we was already playing Sims and that was life simulator. Like you already have life, but you're just playing another life. But flight simulators for those like people that really like flying, or they're just like, hey, I wonder what it's like to, fly around the world and do certain things. That Perfect Dark, that shit looks good. I never played I always heard about Perfect Dark. I never played Perfect Dark, but this right here looks good. Perfect Dark, you got me. South of Midnight looks interesting. I want to see more about it. They have the we call it the Spider-Man, Spider-Man into the Spider-Verse type animation style, but it has that type of animation style going for it, and I like that animation style. But I want to see it. I want to see more of the gameplay before I make a decision. State of Decay 3, I felt the first one I played heavy. The second one I kind of fell off, and then this third one. A lot of these games, I want to see people play it. I may play it in the long run later on, but I'll see. I'll watch people play State of Decay 3. That's another thing too. Side note, I want to see people make more content where it's just, stream games. Stream it. If you really like a game, stream it. People will watch. Okay, maybe you get like a couple that may watch. In time, people will watch. Because a lot of these games, either people can't afford them, or they like them but can't play them, and they'll watch somebody else play it the whole way through. So just do it. That's what I'm gonna do. State of Decay 3, it might be a if, Assassin's Creed is a buy. I'm gonna stream it, and you know what? I'm gonna be the samurai for every scenario. They say most of the time you'll have a choice, either be the samurai, or you can be the I'm just call her a ninja, okay? Either the samurai or the ninja. I'm gonna be a samurai. The first playthrough, all my mission samurai, just to piss people off, just to piss off the racists. Because it's a dumbass thing. Like, we literally have all these games. non-historical main characters, fictional. It's already fictional anyway. Apple of Eden and all that shit, and people that save their consciousness and transfer it to another body, and you can jump to. It's all fictional. We get a unique character that is a samurai that's not Japanese, that's African but was in actual history, and people lose their shit. People lose their minds, but I'm definitely playing that. You got my vote, man. Atomfall, no. Expedition 33, no. Dragon Age Vilgard, you got me. I do like Dragon Age games. Flintlock. Once they say Souls like, I'm good. Like, you got it. Frag Punk, no. Life is Strange. I like RDC's playthrough. I don't feel like playing the game personally. I do want to see RDC. Like, RDC, that's not like, yo, when you do the playthrough, if you got some people, like, yo, just make that shit entertaining. Like, or just be funny. Because when they do the playthrough, they did instead of Life is Strange, they said Life is Ignorant. And it was tough. Now, this mecha break, this shit looks like Transformers and Gundam combined, and it looks like Armored Core. Just more brighter, more movement, even more polished, way more polished. But that, I might have to cop it. I might have to get it. It might be a good buy. Metal Gear Solid, Snake Eaters, I think it's like the redo of the actual like Snake Eater game that came out. And those are cool, but no. Mixtape, nah. Cool on it. Stalker 2, nah, you got it. You got some other stuff, Winterboro, Wu Chang, Fallen Feathers. Diablo 4. I stopped playing Diablo 4. I stopped playing Diablo 4 a month after they came out. That whole every new season you need a new character, so you pretty much resetting and starting over is dumb. People are like, oh, they had it in 3. Well, in this one they should have told us that from the get-go. Would have saved people some money. Would have saved me some money too, because I'd have been like, what? Oh, I'm not playing that then. Imagine you having to, and I don't have to worry about this because I'm pretty much retired, but imagine you having to work a 9 to 5, right? You'd be tired too. And it's not a 9 to 5 technically because you got to count the hours of you getting up and getting to work, and then you going home, having to eat, having to clean up some stuff. You got to go work out. You come back. You only got but so many hours to play a game. Unless you go hang out or something. So you sparsely have to play the game. You level up just for these niggas to go. Yeah, each new season, we know you got a warrior. And you're going to want the new armor for the warrior that comes out. But you're going to have to make a new character and level that one up. And get the armor. And then you can transfer it over to your actual warrior. So instead of just using the same character, we're going to make you start all over again. It lost a lot of people. People are like, oh, well, they should have researched the game a little. Nah, you should have made that part very loud. Or you should have done two things. You should have made that part very loud, or you should have just not done it. Delete that aspect of the game. Don't have people start all over again in their season. If they're trying to, I can see if they're trying to do something like, of course, like there's whole new sets of armor that people have to go through in the DLC to get, because it's special armor that's not in a regular game. Cool. If you wanted something for like a mage, but you have your warrior leveled up, and you would have to level up your mage in order to get to, whatever point in the DLC, and then do it like that. That's fine. But having to keep starting over every time there's a new, and if you have a warrior, you got to keep making a warrior, keep making a warrior, keep making a warrior for the DLC. You lost me, and you lost a lot of people. And when you make another Dragon Age, People now, because people weren't that vocal about Dragon Age Online when it came, like Dragon Age 3 when it came out. Now, TikTok, TikTok will still be around. TikTok, YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, everyone's gonna warn everybody. Like, yo, if they don't take out this part, don't get the game. Elder Scrolls Online. Listen, 10 years. Elder Scrolls Online been on for 10 years. I stopped playing Elder Scrolls that first year. Then I really wasn't into how games like that was. I had played Neverwinter. I had played Neverwinter a lot. But when it came to also playing Elder Scrolls 2, and it was kind of playing like Neverwinter, I was, because you can't do it, but at the same time, I was in the mindset and notion about Elder Scrolls being like Skyrim. That's what I thought. I was like, oh, it's probably gonna be just as cool as Skyrim, but it's online. When I played it, I was like, this is kind of these type of MMORPGs. Then I wasn't feeling it. Now, depending on which kind it is, I may, but I'm never going back to Elder Scrolls. Cool game though. Fallout 76, because of how popular the show is, they started coming out with more stuff for it, but you get me back. Sea of Thieves, I was never interested in. Starfield, no. World of Warcraft. I never got into World of Warcraft because I heard of all the stories. People missing work. People not caring for their kids. People just not getting up to use the bathroom. Stanking. Putting in like 40 hours in a row. I was like, yo, if a game like that is captivating like that, I don't want no parts of it. I don't want to miss work. I don't want to miss nothing that's vital to me or my health or miss eating. I was like, dog, I'm cool off of that. Now, if World of Warcraft was to come out and it was come out on like console or something, I'd cop it. Because I don't have a gaming PC. I might have one later. I might start doing that, but otherwise than that, no. But good for them. World of Warcraft has been out for fucking years, and they are still finding success. If it ain't broke, don't fix it was a game, this right here. And what they had was like a big, like, I think it was like a graphics update, so it kind of made it a little more better. And that's it. And then they keep adding more stuff. Fire. Keep it going, keep it going. And of course, hardware announcements. 3 new Xbox consoles. Well, not new, but it's the same shits. It's just they give like special, like, oh, space gray or black, but it looks like space or something like that. And the hardware is a little different. That's all you get. It's not really worth it. If anything, it gives people a chance who haven't by now gotten an Xbox to get an Xbox, and in that sense get one that's better than the one that came out a couple years ago. Yeah. Look at me. I made it past an hour. That'd be my goal, to make it past an hour. Not too much on bullshit. Just make it past an hour. And what is my last thing? Oh, my last thing is to kill them with kindness, okay? There's gonna be people that bug you. There's gonna be people that rub you the wrong way. No diddy. People try to get under your skin. There's people out there that'll try to drag you down with them. Just to be like, hey, look at us, we're on even planes. Or you're doing good and you're minding your own business, and people see how peaceful you are, and they'll try to drag you out of that. Like, oh, like, why are they so at peace? I want to cause some problems. You kill them with kindness. People being rude. People got problems with you. It doesn't. People will try to damage anything you have. Try to fight you. Try to take something you got. And you could, like, yo, when people step up to you, you could probably kick their ass, but it don't do nothing at the end of the day. It really don't. There's some people out there that don't get that, and that's all they live by. That's all they value themselves with. So you let them implode on themselves. Those are like self imploding black holes. Like just let them do them. Like, you know what? You got it, man. Even smile. Like, you know what? You got it. Like, if that's what you want to, if that's how you want to roll, that's how you want to believe. Keep that over there. You got it. Simply kill them with kindness, especially when it comes to rude people. Nothing works better when somebody is just so rude and you don't like match their energy. You're just calm, and someone could be just yelling at you, just like, yeah, yeah, is that what happened? Is that how you feel? Anything else? All right. And you just walk off. Like, people just waiting, like, ain't you gonna yell back? Ain't you gonna fall for the trap? Ain't you gonna fight me? Like, no. People like that, you just gotta kill them with kindness, or just see them as like, yo, you're not worth it. Especially if you got peace. Like, if you live in, like me right now, am I living like the lavishly best? No. But am I living good? Damn near great? Yes. Am I at peace? Yes. As you see, I got a candle lit in the back. You know what I mean? A candle lit. You know, I got the stuff that I want. All right. The majority of stuff that I want, there's new wants, but majority of stuff that I wanted, I got stuff that I need. I mean, I'm at peace. I'm single. Well, women hit me up every now and again, but single. Like, no one's really nagging me, annoying me. I get good sleep at night. I got food in my refrigerator. Like, I'm at so much of a peace, and I've been a peaceful person for years. And now, as you see, like, I got size and shit on me, but honestly, I don't care. I'm at peace. You could be whatever type of person you want to be, and over the years, people that have really known me know, like you can say what you want. It's not gonna rile him up. Even when I was in the military, like, people wanted me to do like more yelling, more something. I was like, dog, I can just talk to people and get the same effect. Like, I'm not doing all this. I'm not doing the most, especially the emotional most. Like, I've got my stuff with mental health anyway. So, do I want to get dragged down? No. Dragged down by anybody else's sort of mental health problems? No. Nor will I. And that's the good thing about being at peace. Especially when you're working at a peaceful frequency where nobody can really mess it up. They can't really chink that peaceful, like, armor or that peaceful bubble that you have around you. It's the greatest. Because then whatever negativity somebody has, or like multiple people have, or once you don't acknowledge it, then it has to fester within themselves. And they got to make two choices: either let that fester and just implode on themselves, or get over it. Give them two choices. And those two choices specifically. And the best part about it is, you don't have to worry about those. Like, hey, that's something you got to work on. Me, I'm over here. So yeah, always kill people with kindness. Don't pay too much attention to negativity. Just keep going. Just live your life. Keep going forward. Don't pay people no mind. All right. That's the end. Thank you if you made it this far. I appreciate you. Really. Like, comment, subscribe, share. Share to your friends, share to your family. I'm trying to get put on. I'm trying to get content out there, okay? I'm trying to get content out there. More so to, my goal is if I get high enough, not so, like, getting the extra pay is good. Okay, getting the extra pay is always good. but I want some of the opportunities that come with being somewhat higher up, like more noticeable, like getting into more anime spaces, getting into more talking spaces, just talking, just regular life stuff. Maybe if I was the type of person that worked on like really worked on stuff like voice acting and get into that. Um, I got creative writing projects that I'm working on, so maybe getting into some type of comic spaces or manga spaces. Maybe I can collab with people on YouTube or on here, you know, and have a whole show, have a whole crew dedicated to this, or get my gaming content out there. Like that's why I want to reach it as high, not so much for like a greed or a money thing. And I'm 33, so at this point, the money, if I was to get like money, like the money wouldn't necessarily change me. They always say like money doesn't change you; it just brings out more of who you really are. And that's the case. I'm already chill, and I'm already in my own world and doing video game stuff and anime content stuff and regular life content stuff. If I get more money, I'm literally going to do the same thing. In fact, I might pop up at cons. Um, I might be able to actually take writing classes to get more into, because those are kind of costly. So I would need to make a little more money before I go back to school for like writing, or get my ideas out there to somebody at the top, or maybe I can collab with someone who else is a writer and someone who's an illustrator, and we make a like a comic, like not like a studio, like a DC or a Marvel, like a different one, like something up there that's big. Like, oh, we've got like idea people. Like I've always said, like I wanted to be like Dwayne McDuffie. Like he had his own little thing and it was working so well that not only did DC want to merge his stuff with theirs, they weren't doing him that good though. That was a problem. But they're trying to make up for it now and again. But also like because he was so good at his own stuff, he got called in to do the Justice League stuff. The animated Justice League Unlimited, and the Ben 10 stuff. Like something like that, like another Dwayne McDuffie. And of course, because he was black. And you don't see too many black people with like in those type of spaces with that much like notoriety and having that much effect. But even taking race out of it, just him having that effect, or Stan Lee having his effect, and him being like the idea guy, and he knew these characters because he had a little piece of him that was in each of the characters that he helped create. So doing something like that, like I have these ideas, and I feel like if I were to get with like an actual like another author that necessarily couldn't come up with the ideas as fast, but knew how to write down like between the beginning and the end, knew how to write down the journey in the middle. An illustrator who necessarily doesn't have a direction but can draw, stuff like that. That's how you create a comic book company. And to tell you the truth, if you take away another knowledge besides killing with kindness, it's never too late to start doing what you're doing. It's never too late to start on that hobby you wanted, to start on that life-changing adventure. Because a lot of these people didn't start until they were older. In fact, I don't think Stan Lee really made it or got notoriety with Marvel until he was 40. You know what I mean? So imagine starting at 40. And then he was working it up until he was, up until he passed away. That was a lot of years. And look at how we're still taught. Like, Marvel ain't going nowhere. Marvel's not going nowhere. DC's not going nowhere, okay? So stuff like that. So it's never too late. Even with content stuff, just like this. content, gaming, no matter what you do, hobbies, that job that you want, going to school, it's never too late. Always pursue. And on that note, remember, the key to life, the real secret to life, drink plenty of water, mind your business. Those two right there, you see that little Gojo thing I got right there? Those two right there, an infinite void of making yourself 10 times better. Oh, almost choked on those words. That's how I know it's time to go. That's the left hand. That's the right hand. Okay, I gave you two different types of salutes.